Thank you, Pastor Emmy, and all our viewers. I'd like to say that my name is Apostle John Kimani William, and I gave my life to Christ about 30 years ago. I was a young person, a youth, and by the time I gave my life to Christ, I was not a churchgoer. And the Lord started convicting me that I should give my life to Him and serve Him. And I started making a confession to my other young fellow people that I feel I want to get saved. And they said, you cannot get saved. But I told them, I'm trusting God that you help me to live for Him and serve Him. So they stayed for a time of about 3 months. And finally, alone in my place of work, I was able to accept Jesus miraculously. But it was a journey whereby I was able to light the things that I knew because I had the conviction. I knew what was not pleasing God in my life. And I listed 15 things. I started to cancel one by one. Some of them I felt I'm not ready to leave them. And I said that I don't want to be a double-minded Christian. If I'm not able to leave some of these things, I'm not going to give my life to Christ. And so the Lord gave me grace and strength. And I was able to cancel the whole list. And alone I knelt down. I made a prayer of confession. I gave my life to Jesus. That was around the year 1993. I remember very well, Wednesday. It was around 1:20 p.m. And that evening there was a major crusade. I was living in the capital city, Nairobi. I went to the mega crusade with Young Icho that time. And after the preaching, I went for the altar call. And again, I was prayed for. I filled my decision card. And I gave my life to Christ again. And the following Sunday, I went to a Bible-believing church by the name of Crisco. I joined the commitment class. And after 6 months training, I decided to be an evangelist. And with passion, I started preaching in buses, in bus parks. And that is how my journey of ministry began. And after my salvation, I only stayed in my place of work for 3 years, and I felt the call into full-time ministry. Wow. So after only 3 years, I got into full-time ministry. That time I was living in Nairobi. I began a ministry that was called Nema Ministry. It was an evangelistic ministry. We would move from one town, one city to the other, doing evangelistic meetings and conferences. And later God spoke to me and He told me that He is sending me now to this city. That was the year 2002. And I moved in here in the year 2003. And I thank God for the privilege of beginning this ministry from a very humble beginning. There was a time we would fellowship only 7 people. And I would trust God and I would tell God, give me 20 people. And God continued to help me and giving me grace. And one of the things that God gave me is divine strategies on how to grow the ministry. And the ministry started growing in leaps and bounds. And that momentum has continued now for the last 20 years. And I thank God for the journey.